Hi, I'm Phil with Franklin Water Treatment. Today we're going to be showing you how to tear down this Clack control valve. If your valve doesn't look exactly like this, don't worry about it. The procedure we're using today is going to be universal across the entirety of the Clack valve line. So any parts we use today, they'll be listed in the description down below. And with that, let's get started. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn the bypass handles towards each other like this. That'll isolate the unit and continue to allow water to the rest of the home while we're servicing this unit. If your unit does not have a bypass, if for some reason it was directly plumbed into the home, you'll have to relieve pressure to the entire home while you work on this unit. But we have a bypass on this one, so we can isolate it, and then we're going to come over and we're going to work on the head. Now that the unit's in bypass, we're going to remove the valve cover. It's got two tabs on the side here, so we're going to pull out like so. Once that's come off, we'll set that off to the side. And now we will put the unit into regeneration by pressing and holding the regen button. Now all of our softeners will begin in the fill cycle. The fill cycle takes a while to relieve pressures, so to make it relieve pressure faster, we're going to step through until it hits backwash. Once in backwash, pressure has now been relieved from the unit. So come up here to where it says power. It's the 4-prong cable. I'm just going to pull down on that and turn power off to the unit, and then we can continue with our next steps. Okay, now that pressure has been relieved from the unit, we're going to go and access our injector here. Before we do that though, we're going to remove the red clip from the brine elbow in the back here, and then we're going to pull straight up like this, just to kind of get this out of our way and make it easier to access our components. Now to remove this cap on top, there's two options. If you have a pair of channel locks, you can use those. Just make sure that when you're grabbing on this cap, you're only grabbing on the cap itself and you're not grabbing down here on the valve body. Otherwise you'll just mar up your valve body and this won't spin at all. But since I have the option of using it today, I'm going to use the Clack tool. The very back of the tool here will fit up nicely on top of the cap. And then we're going to just spin that cap off like so. Once it gets to about hand tight, I'll finish it, and then we can continue with the rest. Now with our cap off, we can remove our injector to begin replacing it. So there's two ways to go about removing the injector. One is to actually take the cap itself, this lip here, match that up down to the top of the injector. You're going to kind of push and lever up at the same time. That'll catch it and get it pushed out free. Alternatively, there are some that are rather stuck in there and a little tight to remove. If you have a pair of needle nose, that works just as well, where you can pull that straight out. But once that's been taken out, you can take your new injector, you put that in. Make sure you put it in the down port, right? We'll never use the down port on our valves, so you're going to push that in all the way down until it's seated. And before we put our cap back on, we're going to look here where this screen is. If this screen is really dirty, I mean, it's got a lot of gunk in there or other debris, we're going to just take that over to the sink and just kind of wash that out, make sure that it's nice and clean like this one is before you put this all back together. Then you can put that back in and then reassemble the cap. Okay, with our injector replaced, I'm going to take my cap, I'm going to screw it back in. And this only has to be about hand tight with a single quarter turn, just like there. Then we're going to come back and we're going to grab our brine line, push that back in. Now make sure you get your red clip back in there. This pushes straight in like so. Then we're going to come back and work on the front of our cover. Okay, with the cap tightened down, the brine line back on, we've come back to the front of our cover here. We're going to go ahead and put our power cable back in. Now the piston is going to move out and it's going to try to find the home position. That's perfectly normal. Okay, now that the valve is found home, you can take your cover, line that up in the channels that are running around the edges, and just push her in, and like that. Now with our face cover back on, we can go ahead and open up our bypass and return water flow to the unit. Once this is back in service, go ahead and put this into a manual regeneration. Once we went through this entire procedure, this unit has forgotten where the capacity in the tank is. So we want to make sure that what's reading on here matches what's down in here. So put this into a manual regeneration that'll refresh the bread, bring it back to 100% so that both of these are matched up and it can begin metering again. Once that's done, this unit has been fully rebuilt and you're ready to go.